kind of responsibility that I take on in my everyday life, I'm finding out is pretty extraordinary. And I find this out because of the people I talk to, the clients that I talk to on a regular basis. Let me try to be more specific. By the way, I'm Bill Hermann. This is Creative License. Thanks for coming to our little podcast. I talk about responsibility in a way that helps me to stay actually sharp and focused with what I want out of life. Okay? And if we look at one specific place, let's, I suppose, look at what I do when I deal with my clients. I take on the responsibility with a client that what I do will be the reason that their event is either amazing or not so amazing. It's really, truly that clear. What I do for this client will be amazing or not amazing, and it will in fact make their event amazing or not so amazing. I take on the responsibility of how their event goes. And I'm not just talking about the music I'm going to play or the announcements I'm going to make. I want to be, because I know that everything that I do and every time that I'm attached to the event, I am no longer I'm not just pieces of furniture. I am a moving part that will affect everything else. So what I do will affect everything else. How I say things will affect everything else. Who I talk to, what I play, how I say it, how I present myself, it will affect everything else. So I take that on. I mean, for real, like for real, that's my responsibility. In that, I have to ask more questions of my clients to be sure that I get what they really want out of every little moment they do. And then make some very hard decisions and choices as to whether or not, if I interject myself during those moments of their wedding, if I'm actually going to enhance it or not. And once I decide that I think I will, I have to make a collaborative conversation with these two people about whether or not I should, whether or not they want me to. So that when I present myself, I can present myself the way they wish. It also keeps me really sharp and very... It makes sure that I come at my highest level. There's nothing, there's not many things that'll make you show up at your highest level than taking on the responsibility of what's in front of you. Okay? And that is the integrity that I talk about with people on a regular basis. I say I'm going to do something and I do it. Okay, that's what integrity is, right? I mean, you've heard the word integrity. Everybody thinks they have integrity, and everybody does to a certain point. But the thing about integrity is you lose it and you gain it, and you lose it and you gain it. You lose it because you messed something up. You get it back because you fixed it. Okay? It's your word. It's saying what you will do and then standing behind it. There's no harder, or rather, there's no bigger stance in integrity than a guarantee. And the thing that makes me stay in the integrity of that kind of responsibility is my guarantee to my clients. Okay, I could get out my contract and show you all the things that are written on it, but the guarantee really isn't as clear as the guarantee that I say to my clients. You've heard lots of people say, under promise, over deliver. Makes it easier, right? I'm going to do this, but you know you're going to do that. So you promise here, and then you show up there, and they're like, wow, he gave us so much more than he promised. Okay, great. But if you're trying to get clients that will give you everything they have in collaboration, that will work with you to be sure that your job is easier and that you come up with amazing things, then I believe you need to overpromise and overdeliver. My guarantee says that if you don't like me, don't pay me. Now sit in that for a second. If you don't like me, don't pay me. In other words, if I don't show up the way you want me to, you shouldn't pay me. In fact, I believe that should be the guarantee, even if it's unspoken, around everyone that a person who's especially doing a wedding should really do. Okay? Show up more. Okay? Promise the world. Or at least be honest enough to say, I know you want to have unicorns farting everywhere, but they don't exist, right? I can't make a unicorn just show up. But tell me more about how unicorns are exciting, and what you like about it, so I can recreate that feeling in something other than a mythical creature. But if you can show up with a unicorn, it's amazing. Good for you. In other words, what we end up doing oftentimes is we mold the client's expectations around what we can do, which is one way to go. But the clients that I have pay a premium, and they're hoping that I will help them mold an expectation that's bigger than they even thought was possible, and then deliver beyond that. And I put it in a guarantee because they have a lot to lose. They're spending a lot of money on you. Even if it's just a little bit of money on you, they're spending a lot of money on everything else. And they're handing it to you. So they have a lot to lose if you don't show up and create the expectation they want. So what do you have to lose? Really? If you aren't guaranteeing your reputation and the money you're going to get paid, what do you really have to lose? And if you don't have a lot to lose, how much will you show up? How hard will you really work? And this is not against, I'm not saying bad things about people. It's just, I know if I'm not expected to show up and be amazing, then I don't. It's easier to sit around the house and not do sit-ups. But if I was expected that for the $20,000 I'm going to get paid, that I don't have a gut anymore, guess what I'm going to do every single day? In fact, if there's a guy out there willing to pay me $20,000 to lose my gut, let me know. That would really be helpful. So the moral of the whole thing, take responsibility. Look at your integrity. Tell me and tell yourself, how strong is that? And what is your guarantee? And what are you willing to lose for a client if you don't show up for them? I'd love to know. At the very least, you should know. If you got comments about the podcast, if you have ideas about what I'm talking about, write them down in the comments below. Share the podcast, please. The more you share it around the Facebook groups and on Twitter and to your friends and things like that, the more people that watch, the more chances are that I'm going to be able to continue to do this on a regular basis. I hope you do like it. If you want to know more about the workshop I teach, you can go to entertainment-experience.com. I still got lots of seats available and different workshops coming up. Or just find me online. It's bill@billherman.com. I'm easy to Google. And thanks for listening to Creative License.